the court-appointed attorneys. I just thank God in heaven. I have some means. They would have railroaded me. I would have collected my Social Security in the penitentiary. And so I went and finally got $25,000 and got a real lawyer.
Yeah.
Then they were going to talk. They would be like 12 years. And so I went and investigated who was the best drug lawyer, and I don't want to mention his name. After he showed up, we weren't talking 10 years. I wound up with a 3-year sentence. But I feel bad if anybody don't have money to fight these guys. I mean, I had trumped up charges on, it was just a solution with meth, and we finally did a test on it. It was like millionth of a gram in there. But if I didn't have any money, I would have probably got to 12 to 15 years. So,
what was it? An empty bag or empty pipe, basically, or?
It was a solution that was left over. It was just some water with meth in it. They said I was cooking. They never found any cooking or anything like that. And they just weighed up the water and charged me with like 80 grams of meth.
This reminds me of a story. The founder of the drug policy, of the Law Enforcement Against Prohibition organization, Jack Cole, 13 years undercover. He said back about 76, they started, really ratcheting up the efforts. And what they would do, they'd go into a house, they might find a ½ ounce of cocaine. They'd get a big bag of flour and put them both into a bigger bag and shake it up, and suddenly they had a major felony. And that sounds like what they did with your water in the millionth of a percentage. And
I just, if you don't have money, you're going to spend a lot of time in the penitentiary. And
that's it. If you're guilty until proven rich, is a phrase I like to use. Well, I do appreciate your call, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right. Well, friends, earlier I was talking about I get to do a lot of travel, visit various conventions and other meetings around the country. And earlier this spring, I was out in Oakland, California, and I got a chance to visit the Harborside Medical Marijuana Dispensary. And I'd like to show that. First off, I want to say this. We could use that in Texas. There are a lot of people. In fact, I get calls from people who are down here from New Jersey or other parts of the country visiting the Texas Medical Center. And they call me and say, my doctor indicated I should get my hands on some medical marijuana because I'm fixing to undergo chemotherapy. Can you help me? And of course, I investigate. I talk to their doctor. I find out if this is a legitimate situation, and I help them. And I'm not going to say anything beyond that because I think it's the right thing to do. And if we will, let's go ahead and show that clip from Harborside Dispensary.
The main thing that voters were thinking about is that they wanted to get patients off of the street, away from potentially dangerous situations, being in alleys and dark corners and having to get their medicine that way. So our #1 priority here is making sure that every patient who comes to our facility and leaves our facility is 100% safe at all times. Okay, so what we've got here is basically these are trays that are going ready to go out to the dispensary floor to restock our supplies out there. And we have a variety of interesting products here. We have tinctures. We have cannabis tinctures in 3 different mediums. These are little capsules which contain cannabis. There's a variety of different capsules in various different strengths. This is another variety of capsule.
Was that a call for those babies?
Okay. This is a lozenge. This is a trichome lozenge, one of our more popular edible products.
I had one of those the other night, I think.
Yes, you did. This is a ointment, a salve, a cannabis salve, which is does not really have any psychoactive effect, but is really great for skin care and really great for muscle ache relief. It's very good for arthritis. Another variety of cannabis capsules. We've been seeing more and more varieties of cannabis capsules coming onto the market. I think that in large part is because patients are looking for a measured dose. They want to know how much cannabis they're taking each time, and this gives them more of an ability to do that. And also because it enables them to carry the cannabis and use the cannabis in places where they might not usually be able to. And here are just, we always try to encourage our patients to support the medical cannabis movement. And a part and part of that movement is really all of us coming out and claiming who we are, claiming our identities proudly, and demanding the respect that we're entitled to. This is our processing room, and a couple of things happen here. First and foremost, it's our last line of defense against anything bad getting into a package that a patient gets. This crew has eagle eyes out for anything, you know, a stray hair in the medicine, any type of insects. Only open if an authorized fingerprint is placed on it. It has an optic reader that reads the fingerprint, and once you put your finger on there, the door will open. But at the same time, it records the identity of the person who passed through, and it records the time that they passed through. So if we ever did have any type of incident here, and we needed to go back, we needed to figure out who possibly could be involved if some medicine went missing, or if a patient had a complaint about something, or if we got burglarized, we would be able to go back onto our software and get a complete list of everybody who passed through those doors and the time that they passed through. This is our clone nursery. And so this is our nursery. This is where, when we intake clones, they stay here until they're ready to go out onto the dispensary floor where patients can select them. Occasionally, of course, some clones may need a little bit of tender care, and so James is here to provide that kind of care to any of the babies that may need it.
Okay, so we're going to make our way down.
You're saying this is the retail clone area?
This is the retail clone area here. So we have a separate area for people to come and make clone selections. Typically, selecting clones takes a good bit longer than selecting medicine, so we try and have a designated line for that activity. We also like to have people handling the clone sales who are well experienced in growing cannabis and can give advice to the patients who are going to be growing the clones. So that's the reason that we have a designated clone station here. It is clone season. More and more people are coming in for clones because the outdoor planting season is coming up here in California. This is our healing clinic where we do our various different holistic therapies. It's in use right now. That's why you see the sign on the door. You can get a better sense of our full selection here. You can see that all of our flowers down here have THC percentages on them, which reflect our test results. And we display our test results for concentrates on this little sign here, just because there's not a real practical other way of displaying them. We've found that the percentages of THC on our flowers range from a low of around 6 or 7% to a high of around 22%. The THC percentages, because it